Tessa told me she was joining the military. I thought she was batshit crazy.
All right. I am here with Ryan Francis. We're here to talk about a new action movie that just came out called Speed Train. Now, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I saw him from the trailer. This is a movie I'm totally interested in. It has sci-fi action, a lot of action, a phenomenal cast. I mean, I can't say enough about it. I am definitely going to be looking forward to seeing it this weekend, and it's a pleasure to be talking to you about it.
Hey, thank you so much. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. We had a lot of fun making this film in Thailand. It was a big bite. It was a lot going on. It may have been more than we could chew. But you know, for the time we had, the money we had, the time it was a lot of fun. And you know, and that's what we wanted to. We want to make a kind of a popcorn movie. You know, it was kind of I always envisioned it as a, futuristic movie, but like if we had made this in the '80s, you know, so there's
Oh yeah.
a big '80s influence there. And so yeah, I can't wait to hear what you think.
How did the idea come about for this film? Because I saw, like, I was watching it and I had so many other films popped in my head that this could have been
Yeah.
inspired by, but I would love to hear what your inspirations were with this.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of like you know, everything was happening with AI, as you know, and it's gotten every day it seems to progress even more. We made this movie about 2 years ago, actually now. And It was something that Damon had come to me with this title, Speed Train. He's like, I want to build something around this. And So I just kind of started thinking about, as I do when I write stuff, you know, who do I have at my disposal? Who do I want to go into the sandbox and play with? You know, and so I've worked with a lot of these actors before. So yeah, I just started kind of writing roles and you know, incorporated the whole AI thing and just created this futuristic world that I feel feels even closer than ever.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was thinking, like, I thought of Bullet Train. I thought of, in some ways, The Running Man in a way, which might sound weird, but yeah, I
No, no, you're
was
on it,
wondering.
brother. No,
Uh,
you're
also
absolutely on it.
I also thought of Con Air in a way because
Yeah,
they had the prisoners.
yeah.
Yeah, I just thought of all these movies that popped up, like, oh my God, this could have been inspired by this movie, could have been inspired by that. But
Yeah, it was. No,
all
I mean, honestly, it was inspired by all those. I mean, and you know, you hit it with The Running Man. That was definitely something that was, you know, again, an '80s movie that I grew up loving. And so, yeah, there is a bit of those elements, kind of like that, you know, the stages, the bad guys, you know, the people on the run, the criminals being put in this situation. So yeah, man, good call.
yeah, and I saw the cast and I went crazy because I've interviewed a few of them before.
Yeah,
Nicky Whelan, I've interviewed her. Louis Mandylor. I
yeah,
interviewed her for the same movie that Damon was involved in, the Flood, a few years back,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then Scout Taylor Compton, I interviewed her for a Western that she did. And of course, everyone knows her as for her work in the horror genre.
yeah.
I mean, you got all these phenomenal cast members, and you said you have worked with them before, but what was it like work with them together on this project?
Great. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. So, you know, worked with Lewis in Thailand before, and Nikki doing actually the flood, and Damon. So we kind of, you know, we rounded up the groups again. We went out there and, you know, love working with them. They're just lovely people. Um, Great to work with. So, and then Scout, you know, you know, she and I both grew up in the industry for a long time now. So our paths have crossed and we had never worked together. So I was really excited to finally get to work with her. So much so that actually we have another movie coming out in February that she directed, her directorial debut called Bring the Loss. So, you know, it was a lot of fun again working with my friends that you know, I admire and really enjoy working with. And so yeah, we had a blast.
Yeah, the action sequences look like they're a lot of fun, and that's like stuff I grew up with. It's brings some of the MMA in '80s, '90s
Yeah,
kickboxing action in it,
totally.
and oh my God, that's like the genre I love so much. Like horror, I love. You can see I got like Kickboxer here,
Oh yeah, I see
No
that
Retreat,
Jean
No
Claude.
Surrender.
Oh yeah,
I grew
you
up.
got Rad. No, I mean you got it, brother. You got the Newsies. I see it all. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I mean, and that was the thing too with those actors, Lewis, Nikki, Scout. Like I knew they had the. I mean, Lewis definitely has a background in martial arts, and I know Nikki trains and stuff. And I just knowing Scout, she's an athletic gal, so like I just knew they would be able to handle kind of. the low budget and not a lot of time type of hustle that we would be on. They were great. I mean, honestly, they were learning stuff like 2 hours before we were going to shoot the scene, working with a team in Thailand and working with another gentleman. We brought out Vito to do a lot of the action stuff. So, again, I needed to know I had people I could really count on and, these kind of crunches. And yeah, they did some really cool stuff. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, we get towards the end of the movie and it's mayhem.
Yeah, and then, like the fight between Casper and Lewis in the submerging water. I
Ah,
mean, like
yeah.
that movie,
Yeah.
that scene floored me. And I remember talking to
Yeah.
both of them,
Yeah.
and Casper was like, Lewis has this amazing background. He's in these combat boots, and somehow he still like pops up doing a flying knee strike with our waters up. I'm like that, like the fact he didn't use wires for it just like blew my mind.
Lewis is a certified badass. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lewis is certified badass.
Yeah, he is, and he's totally like the nicest guy on the face of the earth. And then when he's
Yeah.
doing when he did the My Big Fat Greek Weddings, he's like the funniest character.
Oh, yeah.
He's got that penchant for like he can do anything.
Yeah, no,
And then
totally. And a
and then
fabulous
having it,
director too. I
yeah,
mean,
I just saw Prisoner of War a few months ago, and I was like, holy crap! Like, and I've
right.
seen him direct before, and he's he can prove himself both in front and behind the cameras. So
He's got the hands.
that's
He's
what
got
it
the
is.
hands for
He's
sure.
really taken that experience that he's had for like 35 years, and he really brings his A game no matter what he
Yep.
does.
That's Louis Mandylor. I call him Louis Legend. You get 110 every time.
That's awesome. So how long did shooting take on this? And I know you had the time constraints and all that, but were there any other
Yeah, time
challenges?
constraints, man. Even the whole thing, we kind of put this together when I wrote the script was like, from the time that Damon was like, I've got this title speech and I want to work something in this elements. Let's work, Nikki wants to work again. Louis, I think Louis was out there already filming. So like it was that kind of thing where we kind of put together, all these elements that we had. It was probably we started filming like 3 months after that, no joke. And then I think we had 12 days. They built the whole set out there. The first set got flooded out. Like it was
Oh
just crazy when you're
man.
filming in Thailand. It's just kind of nuts. But yeah, I think we had like 12 days. It was tough.
Wow. Is
It
there
was
any other
tough.
challenges besides the set flooding? Was there any other issues you faced? Like,
Not particularly. It's just sometimes Thailand works a little bit differently. Again, the language barrier a little bit. I mean, they're amazing though out there. They will like you just think of something, like don't even say it out loud because you'll turn around and it's already like there and built and done. You got to be careful. No, they're amazing. But no, I mean, it's just like it's a lot of actors. We were in like, these small compartments that, these, bullet train type of things. Doing a lot of action stuff. There's a lot of players in the game on this. So yeah, like, it was tough, but we got professionals and we all had a blast doing it. Our DP Nico he's insane. He's awesome. And our fight team was great. And so, there's some really sick fight scenes in there that I'm really proud of. So yeah,
yeah,
but
that's what I love about, especially when you shoot in place like Thailand, because one could think of kickboxer, and
yeah,
later on you had Bak. That they brought that movie brought Thailand back on the map with action films,
seriously.
and then we had the kickboxer reboots.
Yeah.
Vengeance and Retaliation shot in Thailand, and they brought in I think one of the guys actually worked with the guy from Bak, like the
Oh yeah,
one of the
that's
stunt team guys, and
uh-huh. Yeah.
so I was like, that's what made it work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so every time I find out that a movie's being shot in Thailand, it's an action film, I was like, I get excited because it's like I know what to expect,
You
and
know what you're gonna get. No, totally. Absolutely. No, they're awesome out there. JJ and his team, I cannot just thank them enough. They were so good. And like again, just under like the circumstances and stuff like that. And like not everybody had fight experience too, so there was a lot of that as well where it was like learning on the fly and people's first time. And Yeah, I mean, the actors really they gave it all. Like I said, we were running and gunning for like 12 days. Maybe it was less. I don't know. Maybe even 10 days. I don't know. It was definitely 12 or less. I'll tell you that much. But
Yeah,
no, yeah,
that's awesome.
guys really gave it 100.
I like the fact that when you come up with the fight scene on the fly and you only have a couple of hours to do it, I always and then it comes out like really well. That's when you knew
Yeah.
it's going to be awesome because I remember years ago I talked with Ellen Holman and she did an Army of One and her husband was the choreographer and they only had 1 hour to do this one long take fight scene and that was like the best fight scene in the entire film too. So I was just like, the way she
Wow.
just unleashed herself against these bad guys in like this small confined apartment. She told me it's like we only have 1 hour to do this. Like we just came up with it like in 1 hour and we just shot it and like her husband did such a good job on that choreography with
Sick.
working with her.
It's funny you say that because Scout actually, her and her husband does the fight choreographer. Not on this movie, coincidentally enough, but on the next movie we did with Bring the Law and stuff. And I actually act in that movie too. And I have this great fight scene with Brendan Fair at the end, and he had choreographed it. And I remember thinking too at the time, it was a lot of running guns, similar, budget and time frame. And I was like, I was like, I don't know, dude. This is going to be tough. We don't have that much time. We're dealing with a lot of elements here, and but yeah, I just actually watched it, and it's pretty good.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like they live or like they
Yeah,
live. They did that whole fight scene just like right there. It's like
yeah.
unrehearsed. And then there was I think I heard Escape Plan 3 when Sylvester Stallone fights Devin Sawa at the end. They just came up with it like
On
they
the
just came up with
fly.
it. They on the
Sometimes you
fly.
got to. Sometimes you got to,
And
man. That's
even
just
and we can even go as far back as the Punisher with Dolph Lundgren because I heard like they had no fight choreographer. So Dolph and his
he was
whoever he fought on the set, they were
he
like
was the fight
they came
choreographer.
up with it. They came up with
Yeah,
their own fight on the fly.
yeah.
I love that. I love hearing that because it just makes it more authentic in my opinion. It makes the fight
It
more
kind of is. It kind of is. Yeah, it's
yeah,
true.
like it might be realistic. It might be like it could be like it may have like a flashy kick or two in here, but still it makes it more authentic and realistic.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I totally agree.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
aside from the movie you just mentioned that's coming up next, is there any other projects that you're working on that you could talk about?
Yeah, actually I have two that just came out as an actor. One called Reverence, which is this really dark thriller, kind of like a prisoners movie kind of vibe, the Hugh Jackman one. And then I have another one, two coming out that I did with Theo Rossi. One is Bruton, which is actually a pretty cool one. It's based on a true story of this guy, Brian Bruton, who was like a small time drug dealer who ended up being in the wrong place, wrong time, getting like 10 years, and then his whole prison sentence. And like, this is kind of crazy. Like, he ends up like even breaking out of jail. Like, it's like,
Oh,
yeah, like seduces like the female guard. She helps him get out. Like, yeah, it's in Florida. So it's very Florida.
where I am right now.
Oh man. So I mean, you should look this guy
I
up.
probably heard of this. I probably heard of this.
I'm sure you have. Like, it's kind of, especially in Florida, it's a pretty famous story. So I have that coming out. So it's basically based on a true story of this guy's life. Theo plays him. And then I did another movie with Theo and Ron Perlman called Come With Me, which is a pretty polarizing movie. I think very topical at the time right now, dealing with like a lot of political stuff, gun stuff. Really strong performance from Theo and Ron. So yeah, I got those coming out, and yeah, man, that got like four movies right now, cracking.
That's awesome. Hey, man, that just shows how dedicated you are to the art. You know.
Love it, man. Well, I love making movies, right? I mean, that's we're all big fans of film, and we grew up being influenced and just being purely entertained by these movies, and I'm really grateful to be able to do this, since I was a kid and doing it now, getting to direct, and yeah, I'm just very grateful for it.
That's awesome. Well, everyone, Speed Train is now out to rent or buy. Go check this movie out. I saw a trailer. I'm checking it out this weekend. You're going to see my review next week before the holiday. Ryan, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about it. You are
Albert, no, thank you
awesome.
so much.
And I
Yeah,
can't wait to see more
looking
of your
forward to
stuff,
it.
man.
Take care, brother.
All right.
I see you.